Hey, what's up guys? My name is SenseWorld. So, big room house is easily one of the top played genres at big room, at festivals, at clubs. Every time I go out to a club, I always hear that damn genre being played. And whenever I make videos on it, it tends to be one of the most hated genres by producers. So, today I want to talk about why do people hate big rooms so much? Like, what's so wrong with it? So in order to talk about this, we have to define big room as something. So I'm going to define it as the thing that is played mostly at festivals. Back in 2012, around that area, big room meant stuff like Swedish House Mafia type stuff that you would play at the festival. And if you take it even more back, you could even say that electro house used to be the big room phenomena, which is that bass that, back then that was pretty prominent, like Class and stuff like that. So today we're going to talk about a few reasons why people hate big rooms so much, and I'm going to give my counter to them. So let's get started. Reason number one that people hate big room is because it sounds the same. People complain that the drops all sound the same. They use the same sounds, the same kick, same kind of breakdowns. It's all so formulaic. Well, all I gotta say to you guys is deep house is formulaic. It has a fucking intro. It uses almost the same goddamn bass. If you hear Jauss's music, I know you guys know who Jauss is, J-A-U-C. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I mean, literally, it's just a fucking bass pitching down. So it all sounds the same. All his music sounds the same. Oliver Heldens, almost the same exact fucking bass. Sounds the same. Let's take it a step further and let's say rock music. Rock music is always using a fucking guitar, always using drums, so it sounds the same. They're using keyboards. For God's sakes, they don't even introduce new instruments like a dick hitting the toilet. At least Mac J fucking made a lead out of him pissing on the toilet. I mean, that's good enough, right? Reason number two, guys, that people hate big room house is that it takes no skill to pretty much make. I even had a comment, and I've read comments on, music posts on YouTube where people say that middle schoolers or high schoolers can make the same song and whatnot. Okay, so all I have to say is if the middle schoolers and high schoolers know the skills in order to make a genre, they can make anything they fucking want. It doesn't matter what it is. Now, big room house does take a good set of skills, and I'm going to tell you guys what they are. So don't give me that it doesn't take any fucking skills, that anyone can make big room house, because it does require a good set of skills, just like any genre out there in order to make a good song. Big room house is one of those genres that is the hardest, in my opinion, though, because good, catchy melodies are hard to come by. A lot of people hate on Calvin Harris because he's been getting a lot of fame in the mainstream world, but if you hear the melodies that guy has created, I mean, you cannot top it. I mean, if I ask one of you guys or one of the people that say Calvin Harris sucks, all right, you think he has no skill, why don't you make a melody that will be the #1 on Billboard, something that's going to capture the attention of even people that don't like EDM? Then a lot of people aren't going to be able to do it, and that requires a set of skill. Now, one of the things too is that every genre requires a set of skills, guys. In big room house, the biggest thing is catchiness, okay? Because big room house is played at festivals. We want catchiness and we want hard rock hitting sounds. But then if we compare it to trance requires a bit more skill in creating, chords and creating more atmosphere than big room house and so forth. I can make the list go on, okay? So don't give me that big room house doesn't require skills or doesn't take skill to make, because it requires more skill than a lot of people can imagine. All right, guys, and finally, the last reason I want to talk about why people hate big room house is going to be that it's very full of ghost producers, and more people are informed that there are ghost producers involved. Now, back in the day, I'm going to give it to you guys, trance used to be a lot bigger than what we call big room house now. Back in 2000s to 2008, you can say. And if you go search trance up and you look up trance ghost producers, Shogun ghost producers, you're gonna find a lot of posts back then where people were outing, again, artists for having ghost producers, and a lot of people would talk about it. Now, the main difference here between trance having ghost producers and big room house having, ghost producers is that EDM got big around the year of 2012, and it has been getting bigger and bigger. So the mainstream has finally caught on to EDM, and a lot more people are going to festivals, and a lot more people are giving a fuck about who is making this music. It turns out that big room house is one of the most popular genres at the time when Quintino and Martin Borwick made Epic, and then they got outed. So then, with popularization, with more people involved in EDM, obviously there's going to be a lot more blogs, a lot more magazines covering the topics. And it turns out when this happens, then the fucking blogs and the magazines just go all crazy over it and go like, oh my god, this guy didn't make his own song, what the fuck. And if you guys think about it, it's been happening for a while now, and this happens with almost every genre, okay? You know, you could take this to hip hop. A lot of the rappers don't write their own, you know, verses, lyrics, so you can kind of say, oh, they fucking suck too. A lot of rock bands don't write their own shit and whatnot. But what you gotta realize, guys, is that big room house is one of the most popular genres out there, and now future house is coming in as well. So a lot of these artists are pretty much touring all the time, so they can't make their own music. So obviously they have producers that make it for them. One of the producers, as you guys know, as Kashmir, used to do this, and a lot of people have proclaimed he does this. And he used to do it for Tiesto and whatnot. Now the reason Tiesto obviously has ghost producers is because he has gotten so big that he can't make his own music anymore because he's always touring, going from place to place. Alright guys, so that's gonna be the end of the video. It's getting kind of late and I'm sweating here because it's so intense, but a lot of you guys are producers and I'm curious to know what you guys think about this matter. Why do people hate Big Room House so much? Why do you guys think people hate Big Room House so much? In fact, tell me, why do you think producers, because I feel like that's mainly the major of the population in the fan base that hates Big Room House. Why do people hate Big Room House? Leave a comment below, leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.